I'm IMELDA GABS, and I'm gonna tell you a bit more about my single Reckless. So I wrote Reckless back in 2021. Recording Reckless was interesting because the song in itself, so I produced it mainly from my little home studio. So I just had my keyboard and my computer, and the goal for me was to try and create something that was both very simple but at the same time very rich, and all the sounds that I used were either plugins or synthesizers or non-organic sounds, and my challenge was to try and make it sound organic and try to give them some kind of liveliness back into all those electronic sounds, where my classical training kind of became very handy, because I was basically trying to recreate an orchestra without an orchestra, and at the same time leave enough space for the vocals to really be the main focus and have this sensation of kind of grandness and a lot of space and a lot of air. Yeah, it was actually very, very fun to produce, even though the song itself is not really a fun one. There was just something so strong about that song that I knew that it was going to be released as a single, and it had to have video. The challenge was to try and find a way to make it visually embody the message of the song the same way the music does. Keep it simple, but at the same time make it intricate and make it interesting and different. So the reason why we decided on the White Sands Desert as a location is because we went for this very like science fiction-y theme, which is also why I had the spacesuit. We wanted to, in a very extreme way, express that feeling of being reckless and of being completely lost.
We are at White Sands in New Mexico, and it's just a gorgeous desert, and it's completely white. So it does look like snow, right? But it's not. It's it's sand. It's a bit cold, but it's not freezing. Fun fact, Dariy buried me in this yesterday.
Quite a lot of challenges along the way. One of them being that we really wanted to be in a very empty, fully white sand surrounding area. And then we also wanted to film only with sunset because it has a very specific light that we were looking for. Another challenge we had was to actually just find our way back, but that was only the first night. Afterwards we kind of learned from our mistakes. But first night, yeah, we didn't find the car. So we were lost for a little bit, but I'm here, so we made it out. One day was just a bit more cloudy, too cloudy to film, but not too cloudy to do some dune sliding, so we went for it. We didn't have a slide, but we happened to actually just stumble on one. But what we didn't think about is that that it actually rained during the night.
Sand is not good. The sand quality is yeah. So this is pretty much all our gear with the camera back there. But that's it, because we're just two of us, so we couldn't take that many stuff with us. So we have, very important, water, because we're in the middle of the desert, so we need that. So we have approximately 30 minutes to walk towards the car. This is the car, and there's no internet, so this is with Google Maps, which has been quite handy the last few days, because we had to go quite far in the desert, because we don't want anyone being in the video, right? So now we have to walk.
So basically we had to find ways to make it work, just the two of us. So I was holding some gear, he was holding some gear. We had to hide some of the gear sometimes so that it won't be in the shot. I was wearing this very cool but very hot suit with the helmet on. And I even remember we did some shots that we didn't actually use, but where I was actually falling down the dunes, like rolling down the dunes. And I just remember that that was probably the hardest thing because it's actually very painful. And with the helmet, I couldn't breathe.
I guess you could say it's a helmet.
So all those little details, but we didn't use the shots, but it was fun. That woman that crashed on the planet, she flew away from that planet, so that's supposed to be where she comes from, and so she does not have a place to go back to. So that's basically the realization of like she's gone too far, she's crashed on this new planet, and there's no way back, so she can only just move forward into the desert and basically hope for the best. Being reckless is doing something without necessarily thinking about what's coming up next, what the consequences would be of that. And so when we had this idea to transform it into that story of someone that literally crashes into an unknown planet, that's basically what it felt like to me at some point where I had taken this first step within my musical career as a solo artist, and it literally feels like you're crashing onto a planet you don't know, and you just don't know what you're doing. You're there, but you don't know where to go. And so that's, in a very poetic and and cinematographic way, that's how we decided to express it.